Hey guys, it's Thursday morning, I believe, or Wednesday or Thursday. Anyhow, I got myself set up here to be planing the spindles for up at the house, cutting them and planing them. So, and I also need a couple 4x4s planed down nice, red oak ones for the, to hold the handrail. So anyway, these are the ones that are planed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 53 of them. And there's 10, 20, 30, 40. So that'll make 90 some. That should be just about enough. There's the ones that aren't making it are over on the side here. I had gotten some, actually this one's a little small. This is hickory. I don't know how I got this hickory mixed up, but I did. So anyway, that's what I've been working on today, trying to get these spindles done. So I have to polyurethane all this stuff. So, and then the guy will come back and do that for me. Today though, I don't know if you can see over there what he's doing. Where the greenhouse part was, there was no soffit up there. And I was going to leave that go because it gets so hot in there. But some birds got in there and they were making a mess for me. So I decided to put soffit up. So the guy's here today putting soffit up, working outside doing it. And he's doing a good job. I'll show you the house up there. Okay, so I'm going to show you the inside of the house, but first I want to answer a question. The other day, a guy had asked me, when did I get involved with this white house? It's behind the trees right there. And anyway, what I wanted to do was tell the story real quick here. Back in 2000, where I lived before, there was a strip mall being built in a farm field. And the farm field was, wide open. I could see from a balcony on my second floor of my house. I could see for 10 miles and not see a house across these fields. And one day they decided to put a strip mall in one field right next to the road. And when they did, I said to my wife, I guess it's time for us to move. So what we did then was I started looking around, and we weren't exactly set on moving. We were just, looking for other things, and that's what we did. There was a truck coming up the road. So anyway, what happened was one day in October, it was a cool, nice day. It was, it wasn't very cold, but a nice cool day. I got in the truck and I went for a ride. And I ended up going 300-400 miles away from the house. I just started early in the morning and I started driving. And I'd never been, only once was I ever up to Tioga County. So I'd ended up where I started driving north then off of 80 and looking at all these different areas, and I saw a Century 21. And I stopped at their place in Wellsboro, and they says to me that if I wanted to see some land they had a 5-acre lot. Now this lot that I sit on here is 5 acres. The good part of it is that it was subdivided in half already, 2.5 and 2.5 acre lots. And as a builder, I go for stuff like that. Now all the other neighbors have 5 straight acres, so they can't really do anything else on their property other than build one house. But obviously I built 2 houses. So anyway, the property runs down, over the hill down there about another, 5 or 6 or 800 feet from the flag down. And then it runs out. It's a great big shape of a pie kind of thing. But anyway, I like what I got here. So originally this up in here, this area was all trees. I cut the trees down, dug some rocks out and flattened it up a little just so I could have a place to plant a couple things. And cut some grass. I don't even know why I gave myself the job to do, but that's what I did. So I planted these plants here, forsythia, the apple trees, blueberry bushes, and other things in the boxes. So that's what took place here. So all of the property I bought in 2000, and it was just woods. this road was nothing but mud, and it wasn't even, it was half the width it is now. But that's what we wanted, or I wanted, and my wife, when I showed it to her, she liked it, so that's what we decided to do. Now, at the time, I didn't know that the lots that are over there were for sale, because there was only one for sale sign, and it was on this property. So if I would have known they were for sale, I would have bought more property, because the neighbors aren't quite, well, I'll just let that alone. Anyway, I ended up buying this property here, and I started to build, and I said to my wife I was going to build a hunting camp rather than a house. So it ended up where she says to me, you know, well, where am I supposed to go to the bathroom in this hunting camp? And I ended up saying to her that if I have to put a, you know, a $10,000 or $8,000 septic system in, and at the time it was only, I think it was less than $5,000, a $5,000 septic system, and I'm sure as heck going to build a regular house. So that's how I built the Cape Cod that I have down there. I built that in 2003. And then throughout the years I added the garage, added the little garage, then I added a greenhouse and a garage. So where I lived before, I had a lot of garage space, and I wasn't used to not having a place to put everything inside of. So that's what I ended up doing. So then, and I'll tell you the rest of the story here in a second. So anyway, then what happened was I surveyed this lot, and I tried to figure out where the furthest spot would be that I could build a house up here. I wanted it as far away from my house as I could possibly get it. Now, what I used to do in here is I used to hunt for rabbits and grouse in these woods from the road up there down through, and it's not very wide, maybe about 75 feet wide all the way down through there. And it was always fun. Me and the dog had a lot of fun in there, and then we'd go down to the state to hunt, you know, down further over that way. But anyway, so one day what happened was I come up here, and there were some trees on the top, because we're right on the top of the mountain here, and there were some trees that had broken off. So I ended up cutting them for firewood, and the next thing you know, I started cutting a couple trees down over there. And I just measured out this, I think it was 36 by 50 or 60, 30 by 60, something like that. And I ended up clearing a lot for a house. So what happened was, from right where this tree is here, this one tall tree, it was flatter than that. Like you can see where it goes uphill right in here. So I put at this end probably a foot of dirt. At the other end I probably put 3 feet of dirt, and then 3 feet along the back of it. So all I was doing was putting dirt in there. I thought, well, maybe I'll build a garage there, you know, a bigger garage that I could do some more work in or whatever. I wasn't even sure what I was going to do. I just knew that at the time I needed something to do. So, you know, using the dump truck every day, hauling dirt up here and fixing the driveway down there is what I was doing for quite a while. And that was around 2009. So after I had leveled it all up and everything, I dug a footer, and I figured, well, if I built a house I would need well and sewer, so I put pipes through the foundation where the, you know, the water and the sewage would come in and out, and the electric lines, and I went and poured the foundation. Now the foundation, this is a concrete slab house, so the foundation, when I poured it, I just filled the ditch with concrete. So I dug a ditch 18 inches wide all the way around it, and I just filled it with concrete until it was level at the top, and then it sat. Now I didn't have to do anything, you know, I didn't have to start anything, but when I got the permit for the foundation, I was originally going to build a small ranch house, like a 24 by 40 ranch house, and because I was already getting, you know, into my late 50s, early 60s, and it was just so hard for us to get up and down the steps and stuff. So I decided I would build a ranch house. So anyway, at the time, my youngest son was going to school. When I moved up here, my youngest son was already going to college, so I didn't have to really worry about him. So I was talking to him one day, and he's usually pretty smart and everything like that. Done really well getting his degrees and stuff. He got in engineering and surveying. He'd done a program, and he passed through everything and got his degrees. So, and I think he has licenses in both things now. But anyway, one day I had called him up and we were talking on the phone, and I asked him if he would like to have a house here. And my intention was I wanted to see grandkids, so that was my whole plan. So I figured, well, he can design himself a house. I'll build the house for him, and then he can pay me some money as I go. He was in college already. He didn't have a lot of money, but he did work. And I didn't want him to think that everything is free. So anyway, he would come home on the summers, and he'd help me, through the summertime, working on the house and stuff. And I thought that he was really generally liking building this. And there were some other opportunities that came up for him in this area with the two things that he was studying. And they were very good things that could have happened with him. He could have been in business for himself. So I started buying trucks, I started buying surveying tools and all, so that he would have something to work with. And we were continually working on the house. But somewhere after the house got to a certain point, he started getting girl giddy, or girl crazy, whatever you want to call it. He kind of dropped away from getting the house done. And for years, a couple of years, he didn't really do anything with the house at all. I was the one who mainly built it. Not to say he didn't help a lot, he did. I'm not saying he didn't. What I'm saying is, as far as getting it done, he kind of slacked off there and just stopped. So then he found this girlfriend that I think he married. I don't know if he married her or not, but this is, 10 years later we're talking, or 8 years later. And he had told her the house would be his. And the thing is I told him he's going to have to pay property taxes on it, because I'm not paying them, plus pay the ones I have for my house. And I think he paid them once. But then after he met this girl, she had the idea, oh, well, we'll take this house and sell it. Well, at the time, I had like $80,000 in labor that I was never paid for the house. And I didn't expect to get, every penny I ever put into it. But I did expect him to, cough up some money for this thing. It was not a freebie to him. That's not what it was going to be. But it was going to be something that he could have and, pay off in very short order and be done with it. And that included the ground and everything, not, just the house. Well, he never thought too much about that, and he stopped paying for all kind of things. Like, I don't even how to even explain it to you. That's just how I saw it. So anyway, he met this girl, and she decided that they were going to sell the house. That was her decision. Let's sell it, because I have a dream job up in New York that I want to keep. Well, the next thing you know, she's not working at this dream job. They're moved down to Maryland or somewhere down south. And, the house, they wanted to sell the house. Well, the house was in my name all that time and all his property, and there was no way that I was going to sell this unless I got my money out of it. Why would I want to have some stranger live here when I never got paid for my work? So I said that's not going to happen, because I wanted kids on this porch that I could talk to and play with and things like that. And it didn't happen. And, this was 4 years ago. So for 4 years I left the house sit. That was until last year. 3 years, I guess, I let it sit. And hoping that he would call back and you open his brain back up. Well, we found out that they bought a house down there, so that was the end of that. And he had paid no property taxes on it from the time he met this girl, so you're looking for probably 3 or 4 years now of no property taxes. So I've been paying them. And I can pay the taxes, and I'm building the house without borrowing any money. But the point is that that's the money that I earned, and there's a difference between the money I earned and money he earns. And he doesn't seem to want to have to put any of his money into any of my labor, and I don't get that. And not that I'm saying all of it, but he's never offered anything. So anyway, it ended up where I left it sit for 3 years, and that was completely sealed. The house was, from the outside, what you see now is what it was 3 years ago. But then I started working on the inside and doing the, I had done the trim. I painted everything inside, then I started doing the trim, and by that time I was already getting to the point where my back was bothering me, my legs were bothering me. So that's why I hired this guy to help me do some of this work. The house is not far from being done. All it needs is really carpeting and a couple of cabinets. It needs the plumbing things hooked up and carpeting. And then the well and the septic have to be put in, which is I can have a contractor do both those things. So anyway, that's the story with it. I don't know what happened to him. Don't care anymore. I've given up. And I'm not going to be playing games with kids who don't want to have to pay the bills that go with the, with the property. And that's just the way it is. So I'll show you the inside now and how far we got the other day. Now the house that we lived in before I moved here looked similar to this house, but it was twice as big. Okay, so, and the rooms were not laid out the way this is. It was laid out differently. But anyway, this is junk has to get out of here. I don't know where that door came from, but it's the wrong size door for what I need in the house. So there's some drywall here and some pieces. I'm just going to get rid of it so I don't have to worry about it. I've been taking this oak off of here slowly and taking it down and cutting it and planing it into the spindles. So this pile's half gone. After the first 2 layers on this, the rest of that's pine under there. And that's what I want to use to make the spindles for the front porch. So there's a couple little things that have to be done. For one thing, the windowsills were not polyurethaned. The rest of the woodwork was, excuse me. A little bit of drywall I have to put between the panels and touch that up. There's a couple marks on the wall that needs to be fixed for different things, but basically the molding is up now and all the doors are set. So again, I don't have electricity in here yet, but the molding's done in here. There's just 2 pieces sitting there because we're not sure what size the cabinet's going to be. So that's done in there, in between the 2 rooms. And then this is a small living room here, so getting into this living room area, this is all been done except for this one wall here. And the problem was the spiral staircase. What happened was, I'm building a new house for the kid, and one day he brought these spiral steps home, and they're only 2 feet wide, so they're not big enough to pass the code to be able to put them in. Now I figured out a way to make them bigger, and that will be okay. But the problem was that they were a real hassle trying to figure out what to do with them. Now originally what we should have done was change the design a little to get a regular pair of steps up through here, but that didn't happen, and that's not what he wanted, and he hawing around trying not to have a fight with them. This is what he ended up with. But I'm not done with them now, and now it's getting to the wire where I'm going to have to take care of whatever they need, and I will do that. We put this paneling, or I should say the guy I hired put this drywall up and stuff, and I got to spackle that top area there. And then we're going to finish the railings and whatever molding is needed for here. So then this is the kitchen area. This thing is going. He bought that used to put in here. Again, I don't know why we would put used things in a freaking new house. But I'm not It's not me. I was just happy that he was buying stuff for the house. So with the windows open here, it's a lot brighter in this room. And then I have to finish this cabinets and stuff. But the molding looks good. I'm very pleased with what he did. It's very hard to work with this oak molding, especially the stuff that's not all clear. Clear molding is more or less will stay straight, and you don't have a lot of problems with it. But when you have molding that has knots and stuff in it, it can be a hassle. And if you've ever worked with molding, then you know what I'm talking about when I say it can be a hassle. So anyway, the little things that have to be done are not that big of a deal. A little bit of painting here, you can see where the paint's short of the molding, and you know, that's just the way it worked out. But I have to, like I say, do a little bit of painting here and stuff. Very pleased with the whole upstairs. This is the one bedroom. This cabinet will be getting out of here. This molding is for out where the fireplace is. This is a nice sized bedroom, and the good thing about it is it's a downstairs bedroom, which makes it nice. And then this is the bathroom here. I think I might have showed this the other day. Bathrooms are fairly big. Got to get rid of this picture frame here too. There was just some stuff in the house that he was bringing in that I thought he was gonna, you know, it showed some enthusiasm to me, but I should have known better that it wasn't enough enthusiasm for building a house. The problem is, you know, I had already built a lot of houses, and building a house to me is the same as some people going to the freaking store to go shopping. You know, I just decide I'm going to do it, and I do it, and I finish it. I think that my son was too young to understand what finishing it means, and he didn't, you know, he put his mind more into chasing girls than he did finishing the house, which he ended up losing out. I mean, if he bought a house, he's paying for it, I'm sure. But now he ended up losing this because he didn't pay the taxes on it. The thing is even though I did pay the taxes on it, I wanted the tax money back. And I didn't get it, and now it's too late. I figure 3 years is plenty of time to not get what you're owed on something. So you can see with the skylights there how bright it is in the house here. You really don't need any lights on at all, except for like in that bathroom there. So anyway, that's how far the guy managed to get. And he did it, like I say, I'm happy with what he did here. I just need to dry or spackle this and get this done. It'll take me some time to do it. I was looking for my spackling legs that I have, like, you know, for stilts, and I don't remember where I put them. So I got to try and dig them up somewhere. Alright guys, so that's basically the story. So the story is I wanted to give it to one of the kids, or at least maybe not give, but you know, within reason, and the within reason went out the window. And I'm not going to be worrying about the rest of it. I can't. I'm only one person. I only have one life to live. I can't be, you know, covering everybody's bases just because they think I should. I'm going to get the house cleaned soon before the carpet gets put down. Okay, so I think you see what I have. I think you understand what the story is. Whether you agree with how I handle it or not doesn't matter. That's how I do things. I don't take a lot of bull crap from kids. My parents didn't, and I'm not going to. Okay, hope you enjoyed the video and the explanation. Have a good one.